And we're joined by Johanna Sofer, the real estate manager for the City of Kelowna. This is an interesting thing here. The city has purchased the Diamond Mountain lands that were quite controversially rejected as the future site of a 1,000-home development. Tell us how it came about, the purchase.
So we were approached by the landowners, and further to the recent Diamond Mountain area structure plan, that was unsuccessful. Approached by the owners to see if the city was interested in acquiring the lands.
So obviously, at some point, the city decided, yes, this makes sense. Why?
So in light of there's a nuisance analysis relating to the Glenmore Landfill completed in 2017, and that showed potential nuisance impacts, dust, odor, and noise of the landfill on the subject lands. We have significant buffer lands on the other sides of the landfill, and it made sense to acquire these subject lands, the Diamond Mountain lands, to enhance our buffer lands to the south as well.
Well, it kind of comes back to the same reasons that council had when they rejected that rezoning, and that is that who knows, down the line in the future, people might not like having a landfill for a neighbor, and members of council were concerned about future possible complaints. So this purchase gives a buffer around that part of the landfill to avoid that in the future?
That's exactly right. It was a strategic acquisition to increase the buffer lands around the landfill. Expected lifespan is another 75 years of operations for that, and just to ensure that goes on without being restricted by residential growth in the immediate vicinity.
And there are no plans, I understand, to actually do anything with the land?
That's correct.
It does sound like an awful lot of money to part with for land that you're not going to do anything with.
You know what? When you look at the landfill and its economic impact and the value it has to the citizens, it's in the grand scheme of things, we figured a very wise investment to make sure that the landfill can continue to operate in the way it does, without again having residential restrictions in the future.
Is there any potential for that land to be used, for wilderness trails? I mean, the people of Kelowna will now own it. Will they be able to access it simply for those kinds of purposes?
Not at this time, no. It was, like I say, we own existing buffer lands on the other sides of the landfill, and those right now are not privately accessible. So maybe at some time in the future generations, these Diamond Mountain lands may have some potential use in that way, but there's no expectation or anticipation of that right now.
Well, terrific. Johanna Sofer, thanks very much for taking the time for us, and thank you for watching Kelowna Now.